Okay. Um, doing a live stream here today. My apologies for the shakiness of the camera. Just it's a desk and webcam type thing here, so let me fix that a little bit. Look, here's what's going on. In case you haven't noticed, the last couple days, Donald Trump been going a little crazy on Truth Social and just kind of in general. And what's getting to him is not actually the criticism that he's getting from Bruce Springsteen, which sparked his call for these mass investigations. What's getting to him are his sagging poll numbers, and most importantly, the backlash that he is now receiving from his trade war. I mean, across the board, things are going very badly with regards to the trade war. And actually, Mother Jones had a phenomenal piece that just came out yesterday. And the headline, I love it. It's Trump is furious that his tariffs are doing exactly what economists said they'd do. And we got a good example of that just a couple days ago, right? When Donald Trump came out and he said, hey, Walmart, you have to eat the tariffs. You can't pass these on to consumers. You have to eat the tariffs. You can't raise prices for anybody. And as we all know, businesses aren't going to do that. Does Walmart have the means to do it? Like, could they just absorb the costs and not pass them on to us? Absolutely. And they'll still make a profit. Problem is, profit's going to be lower. So they're absolutely not going to do that. No big box store in this country is going to do it. And most small businesses that are suffering from the trade war don't have the means to do it. So we're stuck in this situation where we're paying the higher prices and people are starting to figure that out. Believe it or not, there were actually some holdouts, right? I mean, most of us understood that obviously a tariff is essentially a tax on US importers that gets passed on to consumers. Most of us knew that. Economists had been telling us this since before the election, including, by the way, conservative economists. So there's no excuse for the people who didn't realize it was going to hit them. But for some reason, those folks chose to remain kind of either miseducated or uneducated on the issue. But now that the reality is hitting home with them, the backlash is starting to hit with Donald Trump. And that, of course, I believe is what's driving him totally insane right now, more insane than usual, by the way. So here's the thing. In addition to the post about Walmart, you got to eat the tariffs, he also went off on this tirade on Bruce Springsteen this weekend, which then evolved into him calling for an investigation into Springsteen, Oprah, Beyonce, and Bono. And it also included him reposting pictures, one of them that said, all roads lead to Obama, with, with no context, just all roads lead to Obama, calling for military tribunals. Reposting a post from a conservative lawyer and a former Republican advisor, Mike Davis, that called for the releasing of, quote, terrorists near the homes of Supreme Court justices. The man went off the deep end worse than I think he's ever gone. And he is no stranger to going off the deep end. But what we're seeing right now is just a totally new version of this. We are seeing it dialed up to 11, basically. And I think most of it has to do with the fact that not only are people waking up to the reality of the trade war, but more importantly, it represents his biggest failure. Trump has not made a trade deal, not one. I know he said, a week or two ago, like, oh, we got the one with the UK. No, you didn't. You actually didn't. UK actually came out and said, listen, this is the end of the beginning. Now we're going to start the talks. There's no actual deal. We haven't agreed to anything. They haven't agreed to anything. Talking about the US, we're just opening the door to make a deal. So that UK deal they announced isn't actually a deal. Same thing with China. Last week, Trump says, we got a deal. And China's like, no, we didn't make any concessions. We just told you we're now willing to talk to you. That's it. We're willing to talk. He has nothing to show for crashing the economy. So what does he do? in moments like this, when he really is just backed into a corner by his own, faults, he lashes out. I have a segment going up tomorrow that kind of goes more into that, just in detail, where we've seen it in the past. But I do think it's important that these mental breakdowns that this guy seems to be suffering from are becoming more frequent and more intense. So, what I wanted to do was just take a moment. I've got his Truth Social feed pulled up right here, and he did he did post some videos of himself where he announced, I'm signing the Take It Down Act to get rid of AI revenge videos of videos of inexplicit nature, which, hey, that's a good thing. He also reposted a couple videos of Melania, but then he also posted several posts back to back to back, one, two, three of them, where it's just screenshots of people praising him for how great he's doing handling things with Vladimir Putin, who, of course, by the way, attempted to make a fool of Donald Trump last week by backing out of the so-called peace talks that the two of them were supposed to be having in Turkey. So after Putin backed out, they were supposed to meet in person. Zelensky was also going to be there. After Putin backed out, then Trump backed out because he looked like a chump. But today he's like, nope, totally, we're working on a deal. We totally got it. So he's reposting screenshots of these MAGA friggin' weirdos praising him. Like, this is how he spends his time. Now, I don't think he's clever enough to figure out how to post screenshots together, so I'm sure somebody did it for him. But some of these others, these are him. He's still posting about Beyonce. Here's one he posted 8 hours ago. According to news reports, Beyonce was paid $11 million to walk onto a stage, quickly endorse Kamala, and walk off to loud booing for never having performed not even one song. Remember, the Democrats and Kamala illegally paid her millions of dollars for doing nothing other than giving Kamala a full-throated endorsement. This is an illegal election scam at the highest level. It is an illegal campaign contribution. Bruce Springsteen, Oprah, Bono, and perhaps many others have a lot of explaining to do. No, they don't. They actually really do not. It's an appearance fee. An appearance fee does not necessarily mean a performance fee. If you want Beyonce to walk out on stage and say, hell yeah, here we are, it's going to cost you, regardless of who you are. So if they paid her to show up on a stage, totally legal. And I mean, if we're going to go down that road, how much did the Trump campaign or the Republican Party pay to have Hulk Hogan come out on stage and rip his shirt to reveal a Trump shirt underneath, right? I mean, I'm willing to bet he got paid. He seems like the kind of guy that needs the money. Or Scott Baio, or Kid Rock, or Toby Keith at Donald Trump's first inauguration, right? I mean, if we want to start poking holes in celebrities getting paid to show up at political events, then holy hell, there's going to be a lot of them. But for the record, none of it's illegal. But this is part of the unhinged madness that this dude is going through right now. He is trying to do whatever he can to distract people from his failures with the trade war, which, for those who may not have been paying attention, last Friday, he announced that, hey, I'm setting new tariff rates. Well, he's not. It's Scott Bessent and Howard Lutnick that are actually going to be, sending the letters to other countries to let them know what the new tariff rate is going to be. But he's increasing the tariffs again because that's what he does. He has no way out. He can't just rescind all the tariffs and then be like, okay, we're done. I give up. That's a failure. He can't accept failure. He can't do it without having any real trade deals because those are things people are going to notice if they exist or not. So he's got to have something, but he has nothing. So he's panicked. He's freaked out. He's trying to launch all these distractions. Let's go to another one. 16 hours ago on his Truth Social page, he just says, congratulations, Republicans. Make America great again. Congratulations for what? What did they do? Way to go, guys! What did they do? I'm sure they don't know what they did. Uh, his post about Biden, sure, sure. Um, Reposting all of these images, just creepy, crazy ones. One, an AI image of him draped in an American flag says, "We're taking back America." He just reposted some profiles of other weird people. A lot of videos. There's a video of a jet. Like, that's cool, I guess. If that's what you're into, just reposted a video of a jet. Oh, there's a red, white, and blue pool lighting. That's kind of fun. Oh, there he is with Saudi Arabia. Just Jesus Christ. I mean, this guy's like a 10-year-old kid. Like, hey, this pool looks really cool. Oh, hey, look, a jet. Fuck yeah. Like, oh my God, we have the toddler in chief, is what he is. Just absolutely ridiculous. But whatever he has to do to distract us from his many failures of the trade war, right? Let me read some of these comments. um, the Owl of Christ says, "Hi, Farron. Love your content. You're my go to on Trump news." Well, thank you. Fab says, "He'll figure it out, right?" Oh, yeah, of course. We all know that. We're just waiting for the day for him to become presidential. Another one says, "Weirdly enough, being very, very old and narcissistic might be," well, looks at list again. Oh, this list is shorter. Marathon Florida Keys says, "Not even good celebrities either." Super Daikinki says, "We have a bunch of idiots in this country. God help us all." Another comment from Nastasia says, "I think the only people paid were Bruce's setup crew. That's it." Um, and look, the whole thing is ridiculous. But what he's doing, again, is to distract people from the trade war. He knows at this point that his MAGA people are starting to wake up to the reality that, look, we're the ones getting screwed. So, what does he do to distract them from his failures? He's like, hey, these darn celebrities, we all hate those celebrities, right? Those left wing bastards. Let's get them with an investigation. And the base loves it. So the base gets temporarily distracted from the fact that they're getting screwed at the checkout counter because, hey, look at this. We got something else to think about. And if that doesn't do it, I'm sure the video of that jet flying overhead is going to make a lot of them go like, whoa, did you see the jet? That's pretty fast. Let me watch it again. I'm going to do it in slow-mo so I can see it go fast. It's so ridiculous. Thomas Patton says, rate all the big apps 1 star for not displaying tariffs, then uninstall. They will see these stars instantly. Not buying takes weeks to show. That's a good point. That is a good idea for anybody that is able to do that. Super chat here from Terry Allen Jr. Thank you very much for that. Terry Allen Jr. says, "Am a fan. Describe your personality. Are you quiet?" Yeah, I'm fairly introverted, to be honest. Until it's one of those things like you get to know me, and I kind of don't ever shut up. History and Power says, more Trump hate. Pass." I'm sorry, what did you expect on a live stream that was titled, what, like, Tariff Backlash driving Trump insane? Did you think I was going to sit here and be like, hey, Trump's actually doing a good job? Like, Trump hate, dude, he's the president of the United States. It's newsworthy, okay? That's why we talk about him. It's not because we like him or we like to talk about him. It's because he's the effing president of the United States. Maybe if you don't want Trump hate, don't click on videos where the title is literally mocking the man. I don't know, just a suggestion, right? Use a little common sense and it gets you a long way in life. Another super chat here from Zeusmo. Thank you very much. Says, when will Trump finally go away? Never. Never. I am firmly convinced we will be dealing with this man in one way or another until he takes his final breath, right? That is how long we're going to have to deal with him. Another super chat here from Aaron Cooper says, so Farron, can we buy you a Black Lives Matter shirt to wear in your videos yet? I figured I'd donate to hopefully get a yay or nay. Totally fine with that. Problem is I'm not going to give anybody my address. That's not a good idea. But yeah, if you send me one, I will gladly wear it. Absolutely. I'm waiting on my Gulf of Mexico T-shirt to show in that I to show up. Excuse me, that I just ordered about a week ago. Um, Ryan Rockenbach says, I agree with you about Trump having dementia. I have worked with a person with dementia and 100% agree with you. Yeah. And look, when I say that, it's not to mock the man. It's not to be like, oh my God. It's my grandmother has dementia. I have been very close to her for my entire life. I still am. I am one of the few people that she consistently recognizes. Um, and I'm talking about like four people maybe that she will always recognize. And I see it. I see it when I FaceTime with my mom because my grandmother lives with them, and they only live like 10 minutes away, by the way. But so I do see her regularly too, and it is horrible. But I see some of the things that she does, especially back in the earlier days of it, and that's what Trump does. And one of the big things is the repetition of words and phrases. And mental health experts will tell you the same thing. That right there is definitely something to keep an eye on. Paul G says, anyone else notice that Donnie Tiny Hands talks about making a deal in business deals exactly how a child pretending to play business person does? He does. And, everything that Donald Trump has said would happen with these tariffs, like we'd get all these trade deals. No, we didn't. Oh, we're going to be making so much money. We're going to be so rich. No, we're not. We're barely making any additional money compared to what we were making on import duties before the tariffs were put in place. Like the increase is so tiny as to not matter. Let me go through some more of these questions. Bobby Glick says, when's Elon getting deported? I think he's already been deported out of the White House. He just disappeared, didn't he? Like, just where's Elon, right? Suddenly overnight, we just stopped seeing his stupid face. We stopped hearing from him. He's just, I'm out of here. Although I don't think it was his choice. I think the White House was finally like, you know what? Why don't you get on out of here, bud? He's the kid from the movie The Toy. It's stunning. That is a very good analysis. For anybody who has not seen that movie, please do it. Pink Rose, super chat, thank you very much. Says, just wanted to say hi. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Jedi Protector says, Elon disappeared like Melania. She is also missing. So Trump, as we all know, I did a segment about a week ago, Trump is having to be his own first lady, probably in more ways than one, but not going to go there. Betty Veronica 2.0 says, can you please do your Lindell impression? If I can, hang on. Takes me a second. I have to get, all right. You know what? I'm going to read a couple comments in my Mike Lindell voice. Elonia is busy calling police on his workers, I think. So when do we Americans get to ride on the big, beautiful jet? Hit the like button, folks. Why didn't you report on Tesla board asking Elon to step down? I did mention that in a few videos, by the way. I just didn't do a standalone segment on it. Click like. Remember that suddenly. Elon broke all the laws. He doesn't want to come back. Trump is losing it. You are very smart. Thank you. I'm not going to keep doing that. A great comment here from Ohm says, meanwhile, Laura Loomer is firing top brass. Yeah, the fact that she has this kind of influence within this administration is horrifying. I mean, we're basically talking like Laura Loomer is a nobody from Nowheresville. She does not have any actual political experience. She has trolling experience, right? She's a right-wing influencer, but this creepy ass individual is actually making decisions that can affect your life and my life. And it's not ever something that we should ever have been experiencing here in America. It's insane. It is insane, beyond insane. Let me see here with some comments. Welcome, Global TV 123. Appreciate that. Super chat here from Humongous 420. The band War has had Political celeb villain slayed on stage for 40 years. As an artist, I worry Trump will outlaw art. I really appreciate your show. Well, thank you very much. And I do think that is a big thing too. I mean, obviously, with the Kennedy Center stuff, Trump is already interfering in art. Luckily, artists fight back. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, it seems like artists in general, whatever the art is, always seem to be the biggest and best resistors. Through their performances, through their music, through their artwork, whatever it is, always seem to be on the forefront. So thank you for that. Another super chat here from VMan29397 says, by the way, you see Trump get Romanian MAGA a big fat L. Yeah, Trump is killing the conservative movements all over the country. Not country, all over the globe. Hopefully this country too, right? We're kind of the last to really get involved in it, but let's hope. Super chat from Kiki Starnova says, have you looked into what Election Truth Alliance has found when it comes to the 2024 election was rigged? If not, will you watch C. Titus interview with ETA? I'm not a big believer in that stuff. I have not seen anything. I have not watched, what you're telling me here. So if I get a chance, I will look at it. But I'm not convinced in any way that this election was not valid. But I do appreciate that. And again, if I get the chance, I will look into it. Test tube baby spy, another super chat. Thank you much. Says, can you imagine waking up from a 30-year coma and seeing Trump in the White House? I don't want to go back in the coma. Look, sorry, be careful or Trump will wish you into the cornfield. I've been seeing clips of that episode because I freaking love it, but those have been popping up in my reels for the last couple of weeks. So I keep seeing them. So that's just a creepy, eerie coincidence that you pushed that comment. But I totally lost my train of thought here. Yeah, I'd want to go back into a coma too. In fact, maybe it's time to just slip into a nice coma for the next 3.5 years and then be done. Farron, do you think he's decorating the Oval Office with Fort Knox gold to steal it later? I don't know what this guy's going to take with him from the White House this time, but I'm willing to bet there's going to be some things missing when the next president moves in. Another super chat from VMan29397. Thank you again. Says, I hope Trump gets Puerto Rican MAGA a loss in 2028. Yeah, that would be phenomenal. And again, look, we've got midterms that are coming up in a year and a half, and I know that seems like an eternity, but it's not. We're less than a year away from primary season, which, God help us, that's going to be a thing. This is the best way I can say that. A lot of us, and I can tell you from personal experience, we're already exhausted with just the first 120 days of this administration. So thinking about even getting into a political race at this time and having to cover all of that on top of all of the insanity coming out of DC at any given second, oh my God, it is hell. That's a good point. Jeff Curry says, next president. Are you sure about that? Honestly, I can't even say if we will have a next president. Maybe this is the last president. Maybe we ended at season 47. Listen, I've had a great time. I need to be moving on here, but here's what I'm going to start doing. This 4:30 Central Time. I'm on Central Time. Don't know what time y'all are on. You do the math yourself. We're going to try to start doing every day or as many days as I can. So hit the notification. If you've enjoyed this, subscribe so that you can, be aware of this. And by the way, last week, we actually opened up some channel memberships with some pretty fun benefits, including, depending on the tier, you can get some unflattering blooper videos of myself. But yeah, so we've got memberships open. We're going to start more live streaming. One more super chat here. VMan29397 says, do you think Trump's dictator turn will spook the U.S. territories from complete integration into the United States? I would assume so. Like, I have to assume that this is going to kind of turn everybody away. Not just U.S. territories, but I mean, trading partners, intelligence partners. We're already seeing other countries pull back on things like that. So yeah, nobody's going to want to be a part of this shit show. And so there's that. But again, everybody appreciate it. You want to go follow me on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram at Fair and Balanced. I'm also, by the way, on TikTok at Fair and Balanced. or Threads. I don't typically post there, but my Instagram feed is linked to that. So whatever I put on Insta will go up on Threads. I am not active on Twitter anymore. So if you follow me over there, don't bother. If you go looking for me over there, don't bother following. It's not worth it. I do not post over there anymore. Just Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads at Fair and Balanced. Please subscribe if you're not already. We will be doing more of these, hopefully on a daily basis. So thank you all so much. Have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.